Well, hello and a very warm welcome back to another week on my allotment. It's Saturday morning. I've got all weekend up here. Old happy me. We had a lovely week. I took a couple of days off and we went up to RAF Shawbury, which is in the Midlands, to see our son-in-law Carl's graduation. He passed out as a RAF air traffic controller this week. So congratulations to him. I cannot begin to believe how academic that course is. Not something I could do. I'm not an academic man. So well done to him. It's something to be immensely proud of. And they are moving from Reading up to RAF Shawbury. They've got a lovely new married quarter on a wonderful little estate. I think they're going to be very happy up there. It's a little further for us to travel. But when we come to look at houses in West Wales, they're very well positioned. So it's all fitting. It's just not moving as quickly as I hoped. But it is moving. So back on the plot. As the sun comes up on this lovely summer's Saturday, I've got lots to do. I've been busy watering for an hour, getting the water into the soil before it warms up, hopefully. And everything is growing like crazy. As I've been away for 3 days, haven't been on the plot since midweek, and a lot of the squashes are moving across the paths, so they've got to be turned back in and try to contain them as much as I can. Yeah, lots to do, lots of weeding and hoeing, all the boring stuff, tying in the tomatoes, which are swelling now, which is nice to see. So yeah, lots to do. Welcome along. Well, the dahlia took its time, but it's now flowering very well. So I might take a few cut flowers home today. It's a very good year for blackberries. Lots of picking. The bed of leeks and beetroot that I put in last weekend seem to have well established, and I've just watered them. It's probably the last time I'll water them now. They should be okay on their own after this. And I've put up another wigwam ready for more climbing French beans that I've had growing in this open cold frame for a couple of months, so some more of those can go in. This is a swede called Best of All. It's not clubroot resistant, so I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's, the top growth seems to be good. So far so good. These red cabbages are beasts, and I've mentioned it before, but let's labour the point. The red vegetables seem to manage without the netting. There is some slug damage. In fact, I've just spotted there's a slug on it right now. But those are the lower leaves that are touching the ground and they need taking off anyway. I shall give that slug the good news in a second. But yeah, very happy with the way they're developing. My one TP of sweet peas is doing very well. I cannot be bothered to pick off the seeds, so they will go over fairly quickly. But while they last, they're an absolute joy. And I take a lot of these home for Cheryl to put in the house. They do have a lovely scent. And you can see why runner beans were initially imported to grow for their flowers rather than to be edible. They are a beautiful flower, and the bees are buzzing all over it this morning. So here's what I mean about the squashes taking over the paths. I mean, perhaps it's a little unrealistic of me to think that I can keep those contained in that very limited bed, but I want to be able to move up and down my paths, so I will make some attempt at keeping them out of the other beds and off the paths. I'll do that in a second. But it's nice to see them growing so well. And the tomatoes look to be doing fine. Again, another job for the day. I have to do it every weekend, is to tie them in and side shoot them So here's another classic example. That's got to be tied up, and that side shoot there, that's got to be nipped out without stripping the there. So I've got to do that to the whole bed. Well, I've got 2 beds, so that's a time-consuming job, but it's worth it. We have only just finished our tomato sauces from last year's tomatoes, so they are a valuable crop. Down this bottom end, the carrot tubs are growing well. We have had some carrots already, and the pumpkins are doing well. Yeah, they're doing well. Very happy. Both beds, and then on this side, main crop potatoes. And if we take a mosey down, I have been busy. This was a row of Charlotte in here, which I've harvested, and then along here was the purple podded pea, which is now all gone and is in the compost heap, chopped up, with 2 pumpkin plants taking its place. We'll see how they do. The 2 pumpkin plants in the wheelbarrow are growing nicely, but they don't have any leaders coming out of the wheelbarrow as yet. We shall see. And the main crop potatoes could not look better. And the same goes for the rhubarb. I haven't watered the rhubarb for a couple of months, and we've stopped picking it now. But it looks fantastic. Everything down here, I've said before, the plot is so brown for so much of the year, but right now I don't know what the word is to describe it. Overflowing, but it's a wonderful time of year. Tumbling Tom tomatoes are coming good, and the cosmos has come up to meet them. Fantastic. Well, I'm not sure how well you can see through the net, but apart from a couple of red cabbages on the end, most of this bed has been picked. We have had a superb crop of cauliflowers, and I had so many that I took home that Cheryl threatened me with pain of death if I brought any more. So I took half a dozen down the farm shop, which means I'm left with this chaos in here. There's a cauliflower on the end that's been had by the slugs, but that's the only one, I think, and there's a couple more in there to harvest, so I might risk taking them home and just leave them in the kitchen and run down the end of the garden. But this bed needs sorting out today, clearing out, chopping up and putting on the compost heap, weeding, and then put the enviromesh back on. I do have more brassicas growing at home ready to go in here. So yeah, here's a job for the day. If I delve in deep enough, I can see some small winter squash mashed potatoes. So they are developing. But the one advantage of this plant specifically is it's a bush variety, it's not trailing. So I don't have that same problem with the paths. So I can thoroughly recommend these. Not only are they very tasty and healthy to eat, and they do actually taste identical to mashed potato, but they're very easy to maintain and they stay in the bed you put them in. An excellent crop. Well, I have some big news on the plot. I've bought a new book. 1,339 quite interesting facts to make your jaw drop. Well, let's have a look. There's some quite interesting facts in the introduction. We pulled 10 years of extraordinary comparisons. There are 1,000 times as many bacteria in your gut as there are stars in the Milky Way. Astonishing statistics. A single male produces enough sperm in 2 weeks to impregnate every fertile woman on the planet. Wow, that's impressive. Unexpected truths. The Bible is the most shoplifted book in America. And memorable absurdities. Richard Gere's middle name is Tiffany. I never knew that. Anyway, to the book itself. In no particular order, Pakistan means land of the pure in Urdu. It is illegal in China to show TV ads for hemorrhoid cream at mealtimes. How very sensible. Sorry, I've just read this one. 1 in 7 UK banknotes carries traces of anal bacteria. Oh, I've got an itch. How does that... I'm not going to be able to read now. That's hilarious. Babies are born with no bacteria in their bodies. The word infant is from the Latin for unable to speak. Well, isn't that fascinating? Bow wow, ding dong and poo poo are all names for different theories about the origin of language. There we are. That's a good start. I won't be able to pick up a £20 note again without thinking about that. Quite interesting. Well, that was fairly painless. It's now a nice clear weeded bed. I've got 2 cauliflower and a broccoli to take home. Not quite sure what the wife will say about that. But I think that path is my next project. Well, that's another job done. Right, that's off to the farm shop. Right, that's what's going home. Just got to work out how I'm going to broach the subject of more cauliflowers with my good lady. Anyway, very happy with that. Can you see that? That's my allotment and me, featured in the August edition of the Kitchen Garden magazine. They're doing an article, or they've done an article about allotments, and more specifically allotment sheds. So I sent in a couple of photos. So rush out and get your copy now. A few years ago I did win their Passionate Plotter competition, so I had a double page spread in it, and I still got a copy myself, so that was quite nice. Anyway, I hope my quite interesting facts haven't left you too traumatised to put your hand anywhere near your wallet and your banknotes. And this time of year is the abundant time on allotments and in gardens. So I don't know why I'm trying to give advice to other people, because I'm rubbish at it. But do try and take the time to sit, just pause and look around and enjoy your hard work. And if it's not quite up to scratch, don't beat yourself up about it. There's always more that can be done. You can always improve, and you will do. But yeah, I find it quite difficult, but now's the time to sit and enjoy. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thanks if you've subscribed. Please take the time to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I appreciate all the ones that do. And all being well, I will see you next weekend. Until then, have a good week. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye for now.